the first question that I have here is how to use loops in the FPC. So let's switch to FL Studio so that I can show you pretty much this one. So here is FL Studio, and one of the things that we can do, or we have to do first, is load FPC. And let's load the default preset, which has, no, not default, the empty one, which has nothing inside. So the idea for this one is how can we, because FPC looks kind of like a MPC, and the idea is to trigger sounds basically from the pads. And of course you can have a normal pad, you can also have a keyboard, or you can also have something like I have here in the top. As you can see, this is the Archivier, and this also has a nice mode to use with FPC. But the idea here is to load sounds and trigger them. I think the FPC was built not for loops, because the looping features in FPC are very limited, if at all. But we can always go ahead and do whatever we want. The thing about loops is that we will not have loops synced to the tempo. So if we want to have a loop, let's say that I'm making a track at 90 BPM, the loops that you load into FPC has to be 90 BPM too. Otherwise, it will be just a little bit of a mess if you want to loop stuff. So let me do something. Let me just create here a loop, a simple chord progression, so that we can export that and loop it here in FPC. Let's see. Let's make this in something like that. And we can make it, let's just make a very simple progression in A minor. Let me see. Let's see if this sounds good. It does not. Okay, this one sounds better. Let's do an inversion. Okay, I like that. So now we know that we have 90 BPMs, so we can pretty much export this as a loop or as an audio clip, and then go back to the FPC, and we can just drag and drop the sample. As you can see, we have the sample here. There's some extra audio there. We can clip that, but the idea is that we can just bring stuff here and it will work as normal. So now let's bring up some loops or some samples, some kits. We can use the kits from the packs in FL Studio. Let's use this one, and now let's grab a snare just for the sake of having a nice beat here. I like that clap. Okay, and also, by the way, let's bring up a hi-hat so that we can make an entire beat out of this. I like this one. Okay, so how can we do this now? Let's go to a new pattern. Let's close the browser. Let's go now to this pattern, and we have the loop. If we play the loop here, we can extend this because we know that this is 4 bars, and it will right at the beginning start looping again. So let's see how it would sound. As you can see, sounds perfect in terms of tempo. And let's make here some just simple snares or claps in this case. And let's bring the kick. Let's also do very simple pattern, just pretty much the same always, just for the sake of the tutorial. And let's do actually some hi-hats like this. Let's lower the volume of the hi-hats. And that's it. That's how you can use loops in the FPC. I don't recommend to use loops in the FPC as long as you know, or as long as you have, how can I say? Let's say that you are going to do something like a live performance, and you want to, you know already the BPMs that you are going to do, and you already know the loops or the sounds that you want in this kit. Then you can create a kit out of the with loops and samples into the FPC, and then during your concert or during your like the performance that you are doing, you can just load that project, and you know that those loops are at 90 BPMs or whatever BPMs they are, and you just trigger them and you do some finger drumming or make music out of pads like you have in beat battles, stuff like that. That makes sense. But if you are making music inside of the box like this in FL Studio, I don't see any amazing features or use case where this would be the best option to use. Of course, you can do whatever you want in your productions, whatever makes you more productive and make better music. That's the point. But if you are just doing music in FL Studio, it makes no sense to have these loops here. And it does make sense if you are doing a performance where you can just switch to a new preset or a new sound pack, and you just finger drum all of the stuff that you want, and you already know that you have the loops at that time, and you can just trigger the loops and wait for 4 beats or 4 bars for the loop to end, so that you can trigger it again. In that case, it makes sense. Otherwise, it does not make too much sense to me. But again, is whatever makes you more productive, whatever makes you make better music. That's the point. And you do you.